Welcome to Mercedes Monday on Tuesday. Let's get into this. Welcome back for another video, guys. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button because it's awesome. It doesn't cost you a thing and it makes me feel good. Thank you. I'm gonna do a quick overview, then we're gonna get right into working. So rear bumper needs to be refitted. If you haven't been following along, go back, watch the videos on mounting this EVO2 body kit. But looks like here needs to be, this bumper needs to be raised a little bit to mount here. We'll see. This needs to be fixed, which we're not doing today. I'll explain in a minute. And I think it just needs to be lifted because there's like a gap here, so I'm assuming that needs to be a little tighter there. Other side isn't as bad. But first things first, let's get the 240 out of the garage so we have some space to work. All right, so I got the heater on over there. I don't know if it's even gonna do anything for me, but let's mess with this rear bumper. So this side, as you see, there's not as much of a gap as there is on the driver's side. I might be able to lift this flare a little bit, but then we might run into a little trouble with the door opening. Right now we're good, but we'll address that when we refit this. So as you see here, there's this little gap here. I don't remember if the gap's supposed to be there or not, but we're gonna address that. And we're gonna get a more solid mounting point on this side. Right now I have the little pieces of gray trim that were on the car, are still on the car. Might take those off, make a little bracket to hold this up, because as you see now we have the fender flare blocks it, so I can get a mounting point there and there if I wanted to. What I'm gonna do now is throw a little bit of tape on this, just so I know where the flare ends. Then I'm gonna take the flares off. Then we're gonna take the bumper off. Let me take you guys under with me to show you what I did. At the time I thought it was a good idea, but it's not really a good idea to mount it like this, especially because you can see these two bolts right here, but let me show you from underneath. Okay, so underneath, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see here. Right, dead center of your screen, there's a nut there, and then, where's the other guy? It's kind of hard to see. Then there's the other one that doesn't have a nut on it because position-wise, I couldn't actually get over there. That I was able to squeeze my hand in and just hold it at the other end, but I'm gonna try to get those out now. Then we're gonna get the mounts on the side off. And a new game plan, I think, like we were speaking earlier, I think I'm gonna make a couple mounts, like maybe just two, 1 and 2 somewhere, just to hold it in over here. And that will be covered by the flare. And then I might make some sort of bracket to hold it maybe from the bottom to the bottom of the bumper, and maybe the top might just be free flowing. I don't know just yet. Let me struggle getting these things out because they're in a horrible spot. Then we'll figure something out together. Alrighty then, we have the rear bumper off. Just take a look what it looks like, I guess. Basic. As you see here, I just kind of drilled through that and just had like a body clip on both sides. Wasn't the greatest, but it was holding it on. This is just something you can get off Amazon. All body clips, because you usually break these things. So these body clips like that, I will link them down below with the Amazon link. If you are considering actually buying them, please use my link. It helps me out, helps the channel out so we could do more cool things like this. Okay, so let's talk here with my thinking of what I'm gonna do, at least for the sides of the bumper. So this is coming off, and we have these brackets like this. This is from just Home Depot. I think they come at like 6-foot lengths, and I use these all the time actually around the house because you can make like shelves with it. If you drill that into your wall, put one on the top, and then you could kind of drill the shelf in. You kind of make your own floating shelf bracket, but we're not worrying about that right now. What we're using this for, I'm gonna cut some of these up. Probably just like a little section like this, and that's gonna go right there, and maybe one right there somewhere. Hopefully make it adjustable enough where we can get the bumper up nice and tight. And then we gotta work out something on the back. One other thing is how we're gonna affix that to the car. So these, same thing I'm using for the fender flares, they're called well nuts. So these are another thing, I'm gonna link it down below on Amazon. Actually, I'm gonna probably link a bunch of stuff down below on Amazon, and once again, please use my links, it helps me out. So this is a well nut. It is, well, the well nut part is this rubber piece right here, and then you have a screw or bolt or whatever you want to call it that goes into it. So what this does, as you tighten it down, probably not going to be able to do this by hand very well, but as you tighten it down, you just want your hole to be basically that's the size of the rubber. As you tighten it down, it pulls this little metal nut thing in here up, and it expands the rubber, holds it in nice and tight. So the tighter you make this, the more it expands, the tighter it holds it, and then you just loosen it up. Then you could remove the piece. So it's removable, basically like a riv nut, nutsert type deal, but these are removable, so they're pretty good, especially for body work. We're gonna go over it in a minute, but when we get those brackets on, I'm gonna put it in through the top like this, in those two spots. Hopefully this is the right size, hopefully this fits, but we're gonna put it in like that, tighten it down, and then when we put the fender flare back on, if we need to, we'll just notch a little hole here and wherever else, just so it's recessed a little bit in there, since they're gonna be sticking out just a little bit. Now, if I would have taken this stuff off earlier, I would have saw that I probably could have just used these holes, but we're gonna re-drill this one. We're gonna drill this one for that front mounting point because it's already drilled in the bumper, so we're not gonna make extra holes. And then the other one we're gonna use will just be this one that's already drilled right here. Hopefully it works with the bracket. 1 second. Looks like it might work. We're right there. Sick. First problem found. Gonna have to make some adjustments to these brackets. Even those look a little large, but this is too far out. We're already hitting back here, so gonna have to trim the bracket down a little bit and drill another hole. Hopefully I could grab the hole where I need the hole to be. And not sure if that needs it too, but I don't want to bend it too much and possibly crack it. Okie dokie, so I took the back bracket off and front. I don't know if you can see the hole right here. That's where it would mount up, so that's not gonna work. So we're gonna have to adjust our brackets. Really thought this was gonna work. Shit. We're on version 2. Let's see if this mounts up. So obviously, hold on 1 second. So this was the original thickness of the bracket, and that's where we're cut down to. So the rear is even shorter for reference. Let's hope this works. Ooh, looking good. So we can get full pushage. Hole is back in this area. Same with this one is back here. And then that's my mark 5/8 off of the body is where I'm going to drill the hole. And 3/4 off the body is where I'm going to drill the, well, this one already has a hole. Hopefully it lines up there. Didn't even think of that one. If anything, we'll enlarge that. Same on the other side. Look at that. Look at that. And then figure out something to hold that up. Maybe I'll even raise this bracket up a little bit. Not bad, boys. All right, we're on. Still need some more adjustments. I might have to remount some of the holes to slide the bumper in and out a little bit because it's not perfectly straight. I don't know if this will show. I don't have much space, but there's a larger, this sticks out more over here than it does over here. So what I might do, I might remount these holes, slide it back a little bit, and maybe ream these holes out and slide it forward a little bit. Then we should be pretty even. It's on there, but I feel like we just need a mount. We just need something holding it in the back. So maybe even my idea with making a bracket for the bottom and holding it up might work. That might be my best bet because I don't feel like trying to make something with like epoxy and whatnot to mount it to the little crash beam that's part of the car. Let me adjust this, hold on. I slid the bumper back just because I remembered the fender, the wheel arches didn't line up perfectly with the bumper. So I slid it back a little bit so there's less that I have to cut there. It's straighter. Let me know in the comments how that looks. I feel like that side might still be out a little bit, but I could always bring that in a little bit now. Let me know. So now last thing I want to do, I mean, I don't really want to do it, but the last thing I might do, wait, can I do something from there maybe? I'm not going to be able to get to the top of that. So the last thing I'm thinking here is, bear with me, it's a little dark. There's the crash beam is right here. I'm thinking of possibly drilling a hole through that, which might be a little bit of a pain in the ass, especially doing it on my back, but I could remove the bumper. Crash beam and make like a bracket for this. So I'll have like two mounting points like there and there, and it'll just hold the bumper up from there. Okie dokie, boys and girls. Bumper is on. I think it's probably like 90%. Looks pretty good. Let me show you what I did. So we already know what we did with the sides here in this general area. Let me get a flashlight. Show you what we did underneath. So we are now under the car. There's your muffler. So these were the holes you saw me drilling in that bracket in the crash beam. So that's bracket there, bracket there. Then what we did, we came across with a long bracket. I already had one painted black. So we have so we don't have just the holes pulling up on one spot of the bumper ready to crack. And then we use zip ties. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, did this guy really just use zip ties after going through all that trouble of making brackets and whatnot to mount this rear bumper? And the answer is yes, obviously. I mean, you just saw it. Let me go over the thinking of why I use the zip ties. You tell me if I'm crazy, if it was stupid, I should make something better, more rigid. But we have that bracket at the bottom to distribute the force of the bolts that are holding it in, and I guess the zip ties. I didn't want to go straight zip ties. So the bolts holding it in, you got that distributed throughout the bottom piece of the bumper. I didn't want to do a piece up here because there's holes there that I'm going to have to fix up there. but I could always, I'm thinking of stuffing some sort of foam back there to hold that more rigid. So if you look at this as a whole, it's actually pretty damn firmly mounted. I like that. Some more of the, well, I don't know if I said it, but more of the reason why we went with this zip ties, it's a little bit more adjustable because you could just make it tighter, and I didn't want it hard mounted just in case you bottom out on something. I would rather the zip ties break than the bumper rip apart, if that makes sense. So let's look at the back of the car. It's looking pretty damn good. I'm gonna have to sand down more of the rear flare on the passenger side to get the fitment a little better like we did on the driver's side in the last video, and then mounted the passenger side. Sanding down the bottom of it just to get it to fit works, but then we don't line up with the bumper perfectly. So let me show you what I'm talking about with the bumper. With the mounting points, you could kind of see the screws. Gonna have to figure something out with this. So there's the passenger side. It's, hold on. I just wiped it so it looks a little wet. So you could, that one, I feel like you're not gonna be able to see, but this one you see the washer. I might be able to just adjust that washer a little bit and you won't see it, but driver's side's a little bit of a problem. So the driver's side, we obviously have this crack that we're gonna address in one of the future videos because I gotta do fiberglass here, and then there's a couple spots on my 240 that needs some fiberglass. So I'm just gonna try to do it all at once. That's why we haven't messed with that yet. So then when we're doing the fiberglass, we're gonna cover up holes like this and that one, but fitment is actually a little bit better here, but like I was saying, you could still see the screws. I think I sanded down more of this just to get it to fit more. Maybe we could change this to black hardware and you wouldn't even notice it as much, but we're gonna have to do something with that. Then when we're fiberglassing, we're gonna go over these holes here and there that we originally had mounted on, but not too bad. So, we're done for today. Let me know what you guys think. Did it come out decent? I mean, the bumper was already on, but we remounted the bumper to look a little bit better. There's a little less sag in the back, lifted up, so the gaps on the fender flares look a little bit better. I think it looks pretty good. Just gonna have to deal with that fiberglass, maybe make some more adjustments here and there with some more fiberglass when we finally do that, but it is what it is. Car's coming along. What do you guys think? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you think the car's looking pretty good. I will see you guys on the next one. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss Mercedes Mondays on Tuesday. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.